PTW Ignorance No Bliss continues on with our next matchup between Umaga and Samoa Joe. This rivalry's got started over on PTW Breakdown and has only escalated in the build-up to Ignorance No Bliss. And this man Umaga has been undefeated on Breakdown. Undefeated in singles and tag team action. But tonight, his first match on pay-per-view, and it's against his biggest rival yet. A few episodes back, Umaga pressed down a weight right against the throat of Samoa Joe, and many thought Samoa Joe wouldn't be able to compete in this matchup because of that injury, but he came back on Breakdown attacking Umaga with the Coquina Clutch. And now these two look to settle things tonight, as here comes the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. And Samoa Joe, you know, he doesn't take anything from anybody. Samoa Joe, if he has a problem with you, he's gonna meet you face to face. And that's what he did to set off Umaga. Now Samoa Joe, he thinks he can put Umaga in his place here tonight. But Umaga looks to run through Samoa Joe like he's run through everybody else on Breakdown. A huge hoss fight up right now here on Ignorance No Bliss. The two Samoans, Samoa Joe and Umaga, locking up center of the ring. And now grappling over to the ropes, battling for positioning here. And Umaga already was looking for the Samoan spike. Samoa Joe, though, able to avoid it. And now Joe going after Umaga with that shot there. And now Joe in the corner. The hip attack and the enziguri. Samoa Joe, a former world heavyweight champion. And now Joe with the chops to the chest. He is certainly one of the best superstars over on Breakdown. As he sends Umaga off the ropes, and now looking for a German suplex. Umaga, though, is just too big. As he takes down Joe with the clothesline. Umaga, they call him the Samoan Bulldozer for a reason. He has bulldozed the competition on Breakdown. And now again, just bringing Joe into the corner. And Umaga, a big headbutt. And you do not want to headbutt a Samoan. And Umaga showing you why right there. And now Umaga fired up, could be looking for the hip attack in the corner. And he hits it. Big hip attack from Umaga there. And now going for the cover on Samoa Joe. Joe gets the shoulder up. Samoa Joe trying to get back to the World Heavyweight Championship. But Umaga now coming off the ropes, looking for the leg drop, but Joe avoids it. And now Joe with the punches right there. And Samoa Joe now firing up as he comes off the ropes with the senton. Samoa Joe firing right back at Umaga. Avoiding the leg drop there. And Samoa Joe now picking up the big man. What's he looking for here? Joe has got him. And this time he's able to hit the German suplex. Couldn't get Umaga up before, but he gets him up right there. And now Samoa Joe sending him to the outside. Samoa Joe trying to teach Umaga a lesson here tonight and trying to be the one to end Umaga's undefeated streak. He sends him into the barricade there, and now Joe suplexing him right onto the ring apron. That's the hardest part of the ring. Samoa Joe with that belly to back suplex, and now back into the ring they go. And Joe now in control over Umaga, picking him up now, and those clubbing blows right to the back. And now Samoa Joe comes off the ropes, but Umaga catching him out with that spinning heel kick. And Umaga, he's certainly big, he's certainly strong, but he can also move around that ring. You saw how high up he got with that heel kick. As Umaga now looking to take it to Samoa Joe once again. Picking him up, looking for the Samoan drop. Here he's got him up, but Joe gets out of it. And now Samoa Joe with the power slam and the cover. Umaga kicks out. But Samoa Joe now trying to think of what he can do next. Joe now waiting for Umaga to get up. He could be looking for the Coquina clutch here. But now he's got him for the Uranagi. But Umaga elbows out. And now Umaga just bringing him down right on that top rope. I think that was Joe's neck hitting the top rope there. We know Umaga has been targeting that throat of Samoa Joe, trying to soften him up for the Samoan spike. As now Umaga on the outside, and look at this now, pulling him down, his throat right up against that rope. Umaga is pulling him down, choking out Samoa Joe. He has a 5 count before he had to let go there. And Umaga gonna use all the time he can to choke the life out of Samoa Joe. Now back in the ring, Samoa Joe certainly on the back foot, now trying to recover, trying to get some air into the throat there. But Umaga now connecting with a super kick. Huge super kick, that could be it right there. But Joe kicks out. Umaga though certainly in control of this matchup. Samoa Joe, his throat is a big target for Umaga, and it's leaving him in a vulnerable position. As now Umaga picking up Samoa Joe, could be looking to finish it with the Samoan spike. He's got Joe here for the spike, but Joe, the Coquina clutch. Coquina clutch locked in. He has it locked in on Umaga. And Umaga trying to fight out of it here. Joe has it locked in, but Umaga, look at the power. Picking up Samoa Joe and the Samoan drop. Big Samoan drop from Umaga. And that may have been his last resort to get out of the Coquina clutch. As Joe now had the clutch locked in for a moment there, but Umaga now has got Samoa Joe, and Umaga, the hip attack once again. That's over 300 pounds slamming right into the back of Samoa Joe with that hip attack. And now Umaga, look at this. Again going after the neck, this time the back of the neck with that knee right on the back of the neck of Samoa Joe. Again, he's going to have to let up with the 5 count. But the damage certainly done by Umaga. And it may not be long before he brings this match to an end. Picking up Samoa Joe now, looking for the Samoan spike. But Joe has got him, the Uranagi. Great counter from Joe. Now Umaga crawling to the corner, but Joe with those shots. Samoa Joe getting his shots in, but Umaga caught him with the elbow there. And now Umaga, what's he thinking here? Umaga's gonna climb up on the second rope. We haven't seen this before. Umaga's up, but Samoa Joe with the power bomb and transitions right into the Boston Crab. The Boston Crab locked in, center of the ring. As Umaga went high risk, But Samoa Joe making him pay, and now beautiful transition right into the coquina clutch. He had the clutch in on Umaga. Umaga trying to fight to his feet. As Samoa Joe still with the clutch in. Umaga now pushing out of it. But now Joe's got him again. He's got him again in the coquina clutch. In the center of the ring, Umaga has got nowhere to go. And Joe now bringing him down to the mat. On his back, center of the ring. And Umaga, he might be fading. He may have no choice but to tap. The center of the ring, Umaga, his arms drop. He could be fading here, but Umaga! Samoan spike! He got his thumb in the throat of Samoa Joe. A final gasp effort from Umaga, and now the Samoan spike again. And the cover. 1, 2, 3! And Umaga remains undefeated. I thought Samoa Joe had him there, the coquina clutch locked in. It looked like Umaga was fading out. He couldn't get to the ropes, he had nowhere to go. But in a final gasp of effort, Umaga, the Samoan spike to the throat of Samoa Joe, that throat he'd been targeting all match. Samoa Joe gave Umaga his biggest test yet. But in the end, Umaga is still undefeated. Hey boys, we're 1 for 1 already tonight, with Andrade retaining his Intercontinental Championship. So that just leaves you, Randy Orton, to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. And Randy, I got all the faith in the world that you could win that title. But just to be sure, Drew McIntyre is going to be there to make sure everything goes according to plan, and the Hean family gets all the gold. You know, actually, Bobby, Drew McIntyre is not going to be there at ringside, because I saw Ultimate X and I saw how Wade Barrett got involved. So tonight, in the Fatal 4-Way, all members of the Hean family are banned from ringside. Except you, Bobby, you got a manager's license, you can be there, but you, big old Drew McIntyre, not a chance. Well, that's a very interesting development for the World Heavyweight Championship match later on tonight. The Hean family banned from ringside. But up next, it's the Women's Championship on the line. Asuka defends against Bayley and Ember Moon. Triple threat action for the PTW Women's Championship. Now this matchup, I do think it could be one of the most exciting ones on the card here at Ignorance No Bliss. All three of these women extremely talented, including this one, Ember Moon. Newer to the PTW Women's Division, but she has certainly taken it by storm. Ember Moon, we saw her in the crowd in our last pay-per-view, PTW Iron Man, watching as Asuka defended the Women's Championship against China. But now here at Ignorance No Bliss, Ember Moon has the chance to win that title herself against Asuka and Bayley. A huge opportunity for the Fallen Goddess here tonight. But here comes one of her opponents, the self-proclaimed role model, Bayley. And you'll notice that Bayley is not alone, accompanied by Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And this alliance has sent waves through the PTW Women's Division, as Britt Baker has been helping Bayley, and we don't know if Baker has her own motives in getting back to that Women's Championship, or if she's just genuinely helping Bayley, but the two of them working together here, and it has set up a really interesting landscape for this triple threat match. But here is the PTW Women's Champion, the Empress, Asuka. And you want to talk about alliances? Well, on Brutality, the Women's Champion seemed to reject the alliance with Ember Moon. Ember and Asuka seemingly thought about teaming up against Bayley and Britt Baker. I mean, it would make sense to even the odds, but Asuka knows this is a triple threat match. She knows she's got to have eyes in the back of her head and cannot trust anyone. That's why on Brutality, she dropped Ember Moon with that spinning back fist. As tonight there are no friends. There is only the PTW Women's Championship. As this triple threat match set to get underway. Asuka, Ember Moon, and Bayley. And now they're both going after Bayley to start this matchup. We talked about alliances, and it looks like Asuka and Ember Moon putting their differences aside to get Bayley out of here early on as she scurries to the outside. But now it's the two of them in the ring, and Bayley on the outside as Asuka now with the armbar on Ember Moon as Moon now into the cover. And these two trading pinfalls here, going back and forth. But now Asuka, look at this, look at the leg lock there from the Women's Champion. That leg lock cinched in on Ember Moon. But Ember though is gonna get over to the ropes to break the submission. But now there's Bayley taking out Ember Moon on the outside. And that's what I was saying earlier, triple threat action. You need eyes in the back of your head as Bayley connects with that boot. Well, there's 3 women in this matchup, 4 if you include Britt Baker. That's now Asuka and Bayley in the ring. Asuka connecting with those strikes, looking for the hip attack. Bayley avoids it. And now Bayley with that belly to back suplex. As Bayley, you know, she wants to be the PTW Women's Champion. And now coming off the ropes here as Bayley connects with that big forearm shot. The cover, Asuka kicks out. And now Bayley looking to the outside to Britt Baker. And Baker offering advice to Bayley. As now Bayley picking up Asuka. And now up on the shoulders. Bayley's got her up, but here's Ember Moon with the drop kick. And this matchup, it's triple threat. It's going to be fast paced. There's going to be constant action. As Ember Moon back in the ring takes out both women with the drop kick. And now coming off the ropes with the springboard crossbody to Bayley. Ember Moon takes down Bayley there. And now going after the Women's Champion Asuka. Asuka though fighting back, a kick to the gut. But Ember caught her with the roundhouse there. And the Women's Champion rolling to the outside. Ember Moon now could have the champion on the back foot here. As now here comes Ember Moon. Baseball slide drop kick from the challenger. Asuka has been a valiant champion, defending that title well. But now Ember Moon going after her. But there's Britt Baker getting involved with the super kick. And you knew Baker would get herself involved in this matchup, doing so right there. And Britt Baker trying to help Bayley to become the PTW Women's Champion, as now sending Ember Moon back into the ring. And now Bayley has got her with the Bayley to belly. The cover. Ember kicks out. But Britt Baker giving Bayley the assist as Bayley almost became Women's Champion right there. But now Bayley in control, looking to put it away, looking for the rose plant on Ember Moon. But now there's Asuka on the outside, going after Britt Baker with the German suplex right onto the floor. Asuka and Britt Baker have their own history, and now meanwhile in the ring, Ember's got a Bayley, and here's Asuka with the huge roundhouse kick, taking them both down. The PTW Women's Champion getting back into this matchup, and now here comes Asuka with the double hip attack. And now in for the cover. Ember kicks out. But now Asuka going for the pin on Bayley. And Bayley also able to get the shoulder up. Asuka going after both challengers here. The Women's Champion. As now they both try to get back to their feet. Asuka trying to decide which one to go after here. And it looks like she's made her choice. Asuka going after Ember Moon with the Asuka lock. Trying to lock it in. The Asuka lock. Can she lock it in fully? Ember Moon trying to fight out of it. Trying to fight out of the submission. But now here comes Bayley. Bayley with that sunset flip right into the turnbuckle. And Asuka's head right in that turnbuckle. But now Ember Moon with the kick. And Ember now, this could be her moment, her opportunity. The fallen goddess climbing the top rope could be looking for the eclipse on the Women's Champion, Ember Moon. But Asuka caught her. What a counter! The Asuka lock locked in. Asuka caught the eclipse in the Asuka lock, and Ember Moon has nowhere to go. No rope breaks, but now Bayley trying to steal the win. With the pin broken up there, and Asuka connects with the back fist. And now Asuka, Shining Wizard, but can't hit it. And now Bayley, Rose Plant. The Rose Plant, and Bayley is going to become the Women's Champion here. But Ember Moon breaks it up. I thought Bayley had the championship won right there. But Ember Moon in the right place at the right time. What a sequence. But now, Britt Baker with the Women's Championship offering the title to Bayley. Britt Baker's got that title and Bayley is going to use it here. But Ember Moon takes down Bayley, putting a stop to that, and takes out Britt Baker as well. Bayley and Britt Baker were going to cheat with the Women's Championship there. Ember Moon stops it, and now she's up on the top rope. Ember Moon with the Eclipse. The Eclipse to Bayley. And Ember Moon, this could be her time, but no. Asuka. The Asuka lock locked in. It is locked in the center of the ring. And Bayley's taken out. Ember Moon has nowhere to go, and she has to tap. And Asuka is still your PTW Women's Champion. What a match there. All three women had their opportunity to win that one. But in the end, Asuka showing you why she's the champion as she defends her title once again. A huge win for Asuka, but now Bayley and Britt Baker both staring down the women's champion. And don't tell me they're going to attack her after this matchup. But now, standing at her side is the fallen goddess, Ember Moon. We were promised royalty, and we got a queen. Charlotte Flair is here in PTW. We've seen the videos for weeks, not knowing who they were for. But it is the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Bayley and Britt Baker out of the ring as Charlotte Flair now standing face to face, eye to eye with the women's champion. But now Ember Moon getting in the face of Charlotte Flair. I don't think she likes that Charlotte just walked by her. But I don't think Charlotte cares. Charlotte Flair is in PTW, and she has her eyes on that women's championship. Well, what an arrival there. But up next in our next part, ladies and gentlemen, the World Heavyweight Championship will be on the line, and we just learned the Hean family are banned from ringside. Seth Rollins defends against Finn Balor, Daniel Bryan, and Randy Orton.